Newcastle fans, hold on tight because the transfer window has really heated up at St. James's Park. Alexander Isak has put his foot down and made it clear. He's no longer playing for the Magpies, a situation that has become a soap opera and brought enormous urgency to Eddie Howe and his board. Now, the club is racing against time to find a worthy replacement, and the names on the table couldn't be more interesting. From the Premier League's breakout goal scorer to a Brentford standout, Newcastle's targets show that the club won't sit idly by. So, subscribe to the Magpies news channel and let's get straight to the news. The Isak saga has taken a difficult turn. The Swede refused to rejoin Eddie Howe's squad after Liverpool approached him and practically made his decision. He's no longer playing in the black and white jersey. But Newcastle has been clear. They won't release anyone until a replacement is finalized. And right now, the hot topic is Wolves striker Jurgen Strand Larsen. The Norwegian arrives with revelation status after a debut season with 14 Premier League goals, breaking records at Molineux and winning over the fans. To give you an idea, he surpassed Raúl Jiménez's historic mark in his first campaign. Larsen is 6'4", tall and a box presence. But he's not just physical. He moves well, positions himself very well, and can trouble any defender. The downside is that his transfer isn't cheap. Wolves value the striker at $65 million and aren't willing to let go easily, especially after Matthias Cunha's multi-million-dollar departure to Manchester United. Now the question is, can Larsen really replace Isak? The numbers reveal interesting differences. The Swede is more mobile, creating, dropping back, finding play, and opening up space with speed and dribbling. Larsen, on the other hand, is a true number 9, closer to Chris Wood's style, the typical center forward who lives in the box and doesn't forgive if the ball arrives cleanly. He's had more shots on target than Isak and is among the best in the Premier League in that regard. While Isak offered flexibility, Larsen can give Newcastle a more direct attack, with a constant presence in the box. It's a change in model, but one that could even balance the team, especially with speedy players like Anthony Elanga and the arrival of Jacob Ramsey to fuel the attack. And speaking of another name, there's another hot move underway. Newcastle haven't stopped at the Norwegian from Wolves and are now preparing to make a final move for a striker who shone in the Premier League last season. Brentford's Jon Wissa is the current target. The Congolese striker scored 19 goals last season and finished among the league's top 5 scorers, forming an explosive partnership with Bryan Mbeumo. His season has caught the attention of giants like Tottenham, but it's Newcastle who are closest to closing the deal. The situation is already advanced. Brentford agreed to negotiate after finalizing Dango Ouattara's arrival, and Wissa has reportedly already agreed personal terms with the Magpies. The fee is around $40 million after initially rejecting a lower offer. The player even asked to leave and made it clear that he wants to play for Newcastle and compete in the Champions League. Wissa is versatile, can play both centrally and wide, adds depth to the attack, and arrives to fill Isak's absence. What stands out is his consistency. He was more decisive than high-profile players like Sesko, now at United, and João Pedro, who signed for Chelsea. Eddie Howe sees him as a key player to reorganize the attack, someone who can add quality alongside newcomers like Elanga and potential reinforcements like Jacob Ramsey. Furthermore, the Congolese international is at the peak of his career at 28 and has demonstrated a winning mentality, requesting a transfer precisely to wear the Newcastle jersey. In other words, fans, the scenario is this: Isak practically out, Larsen an unlikely but dream target, and Wissa ever closer to donning the black and white jersey. The next few days will be decisive not only for the start of the season, but also for how Eddie Howe will shape this attack. Subscribe to the Magpies news channel and share this video with your friends.